The Northern Kentucky Health Department got complaints
Yes.
that you nailed a donut to the door of your bathroom.
A rubber donut.
A rubber donut. So that you nailed a rubber donut to the door of your bathroom. And welcome, everybody, to the Andrew Cooperrider Show. Of course, I'm your host, Andrew Cooperrider, and today I'm joined by Richard Hayhoe, owner of Beans Cafe, Northern Kentucky. Before we dig into it and chit-chat, please like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you're listening to this in an audio only, or I'm sorry, if you're watching the video on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, and you want to be able to put your phone down or turn your computer off and listen to it while you're working out or doing yard work or whatever, driving your car, you can always check the podcast out on any major podcasting platform. That includes Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart, all those places. Just simply search Andrew Cooperrider and will pop up. That being said, Richard, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, Andrew.
Absolutely, absolutely. So a little bit of background about you, right?
Okay.
We've known each other for a few years.
Yes.
Okay. Friends, maybe not. We're pretty good friends.
Pretty good friends. We've hunted together.
We've hunted together. That's right. I've been to your cabin. That's a house, by the way.
It's a log cabin.
I know in Canada, anything that has a wooden wall, you call a cabin.
Right.
But that is a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house.
Okay.
I just want to make that clear. All
right.
We have hunted together, and we met back during the lockdowns. You're a little braver than me. So obviously a lot of our listeners know that I own Brood in Lexington, the coffee shop that refuses to shut down in place of the mandates there. But
Yep.
you still own it, still kicking.
Yep.
Beans Cafe, Northern Kentucky. But I always tell people you're braver than me because you didn't just stay open. You hung up a big old banner.
There's a fine line between brave and foolish, you know.
Well, you hung up a big old banner that pretty much said, I'm staying open. You can come and get me if you want to.
Yep. We sure
So
did.
I madly respect that. How's business been since then? Has it gone down, up? How's it been?
No, we can thank our number one salesman, Governor Andy Brashear, for our business. We've got a lot of support through people. I think we hit a real note with the people that could see through some of the fluff, some of the tyranny, and they came out to support us in droves. And that was the best thing they could have done because it kept us going. You know, when things were tough.
Now, you are Canadian.
Yes, sir.
Still Canadian, technically.
Still Canadian.
But you're kind of here.
Kind of here. I am here. I'm all in.
Yeah. But
I'm invested.
did you cross though? How'd you get here? Did you cross a border?
We crossed it, a wall of paperwork.
Oh, crossed with a wall of paperwork, huh?
Yeah.
You didn't do it the easy way, just floating across a river down south?
We came through the northern border.
Okay.
About 13 years ago now.
13 years you've been here?
Yeah.
You still don't have your citizenship, huh?
No, sir. No pathway.
No pathway.
No path. Because of the types of visas that are offered by the U.S. government. And since we are not from a country that is labeled as communist or under some sort of religious persecution,
pause here. Yeah. It's real quick.
Okay.
We're talking about Canada, right?
We're talking about Canada.
Not communist and not under religious persecution.
Right. Officially. Unofficially, yes, they are. However, because of that, and we do enjoy many of the freedoms, Canadians do enjoy many of the freedoms as defined by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights in Canada, that we don't have a pathway to just have access and claim some kind of amnesty coming into the United States.
But we talked about religious persecution being a requirement.
Yeah. And it's going that way.
It's going pretty bad in Canada. Can you, obviously I know you're a part of some networks and things like that, where you know a lot of these Christian pastors.
Yeah, there's a group
Canada
called Liberty Coalition of Canada.
Yeah.
And they're very strong. They've been involved in a number of lawsuits. The pastor there, Michael Thiessen, has, fought against the government. He has a charge against him. I believe the charge for staying open during the COVID it's a $300,000 fine
for a church.
Per incident. He had a number of incidents, And he recently was given a settlement offer. And if he donated $300 to the charity of his choice, the charges would be dismissed. He declined.
In the Canadian Constitution, Bill of Rights, do you have a similar right to
Charter
religion?
of Rights and Freedoms, actually.
It's Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Yes.
Do you have a right? You have a right in there, some sort of religious freedom right?
Sure.
Is it pretty similar to America's?
I believe so.
Every single instance of a governor shutting down churches in America was ruled unconstitutional. End up being ruled as is unconstitutional, where shutting down a church during COVID was ruled that way. You couldn't do that. How is it, I guess, you have the same constitution, not same constitution, you have a similar right in your constitution.
Yes.
But yet, I guess the Canadian Supreme Court, whatever that's called, does not recognize it as the same as the right to religion in the U.S. Constitution?
They never tried a case. There was no precedent ever set in Canada for any of these cases. They've just gotten kicked down the road.
So they haven't even seen it in front of a
They
court.
haven't seen it.
It's been years.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
And they haven't even been inside the court.
No.
Huh.
No.
The process is the punishment, right?
The process is the punishment.
And so...
Because if you reach a decision,
right.
what happens to all the rest of it? So that's the kind of offer that they're making. $300 to the charity of your choice. Your charges go away.
But it creates that precedent.
It creates a prosecution.
Yeah.
For the Crown, it's called there. Representative of
yeah,
Crown of
still,
England.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You guys never bothered breaking free of old England.
No, sir. Subjects, not citizens, is how I like to sum it up. And they, it rings a lot of truth. Subjects.
And so that's one, facing $300,000 fine for staying open during COVID.
Yes.
What other religious persecutions going on up there? In the
Really, the whole transgender movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sex reassignment. If your son, daughter decides that they are what they are not and want to pretend and play girl or play boy, that you're not allowed to change that.
And so, do you know anybody who's had some run-ins there with that issue?
I know one case in BC. There's a father in British Columbia that his ex-wife or separated wife, not sure which, but they have been in court and the spouse wants the reassignment surgery or home arm blockers, and the husband went to jail.
For not wanting that. For not playing along.
For not playing along, for not making it happen. Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Very. It's a left coast.
So, earlier when we were talking, you'd said you believe Canada is just 10 years ahead of America normally on most of this stuff.
Yeah.
You afraid of that happening here in America?
Sure. Absolutely. I think it's your Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And I think it's your litigious society. You lose that, the first one goes away. But the litigious nature of America and the fact that they're able to challenge the government, able to challenge the precedents or create precedents. We've gotten away from the Constitution and now it's precedent law, it seems. So that can help a little bit too when you do establish a precedent. And so some of that will help keep it away, but you're headed that direction.
So speaking of recently, within the past few months,
right,
you had a post. I'm going to read the post out loud for those listening.
Sure.
To the audio only.
Okay.
For those not, they will see the post, so you know how this works. It'll pop up.
Sure. So
you posted a picture of a Long John donut, chocolate frosted.
Yes.
What is that on it? Is that nuts on it?
Nuts on top.
Nuts on top. Okay. and you put it below your men's bathroom door sign, and you said, given some of the current cultural madness, we've decided to add a donut visual on the off chance you don't know which restroom you belong in.
Yes.
Was there anything on the women's bathroom?
No.
No? Okay.
No, there was not.
No. Okay. So just the men's bathroom.
Just the men's bathroom.
You put a Long John donut.
Yes.
What what led you to do that? And then two, what was the responses in your opinion that you were seeing?
Well, just the gender dysphoria that's been going on. Recently there was, there's been a lot of publicity, obviously. This was in May, like you mentioned a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So in May, we're on the leading edge of Pride Month.
Yeah.
And so the noise coming out of the news and on social media is all about the benefits of what is going on and how this is the way to go, and we should adjust the sex of our children and mutilate them. And people want to use whatever bathroom that they feel like they should that day. And so we just wanted to make it clear that there's a men's room. And if you're a man, born a male, use the men's room.
Mm-hmm.
And so we added a donut visual.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You sell donuts, right?
Sell donuts.
You sell some big old donuts. You got this like Texas donut, right?
I got a Texas donut.
It's pretty big. It's big as your head, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sizable.
Yep. Sizable.
Yep.
So there was a little pushback. Some people.
So let's talk about this pushback here.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you some comments.
Okay.
From the post.
All right.
And I want you to react to them. Okay.
Sure.
So obviously you had support on the post. People agreed with you, generally speaking.
Yes.
I'm going to read this first one to you.
All right.
How are they not embarrassed to put this on their page for business? Dead face, the like skull and bones emoji.
Okay.
What's your response to that person?
How are they not embarrassed?
Yeah. So how are you? Let me rephrase
embarrassing?
This. They say you should be embarrassed to put that. Now, real quick, let's ask this question, because reading through the comments, I think people were a little bit confused. It was not like an actual donut. It was a plastic donut, right?
Yes.
Like I couldn't eat that donut.
Well, if you wanted to.
But I mean, it's,
Right.
Yeah. You're not supposed to eat it.
Right.
Got it. Okay. So, because there's a lot of comments on there about how's that not causing cockroaches? Like they didn't know plastic donuts existed.
I guess not. The Northern Kentucky Health Department, we got into them again, and many people complained too.
To them about you putting
how gross that was.
That you put a donut on the door.
I put a donut on the door as if we're going to,
if it
was a real donut.
So
if I was going to serve it, take it off the bathroom door and sell it to the next customer.
So let me get this right. The Northern Kentucky Health Department got complaints.
Yes.
That you nailed a donut to the door of your bathroom.
A rubber donut.
A rubber donut. So that you nailed a rubber donut to the door of your bathroom. Yeah. Not real. Not one. You weren't going to serve it to a customer.
Those people were from Connecticut and Massachusetts and wherever. There was nobody.
So how the health department respond though?
We never heard from them.
They didn't?
No.
How'd you find out about it?
Just by reading the post. Just people saying that I've reported it to the NAACP and this and that. And so, but you know what? As woke and left as Facebook is, if they had seen a modicum of racism, bigotry, etc. on this post, it wouldn't have lasted 24 hours.
No, it wouldn't have.
Right. There's nothing there. It fits my genre. I sell donuts.
Yeah.
I sell.
You're in a pretty rural area.
I'm in rural America.
Yeah.
And I have donuts. You go into a bar that caters to firefighters.
Right.
What are they going to have on the door? They're going to have a hose. Yeah. A male hose and a female hose hanging on the bathroom door.
Right.
What is that? Is that bigotry? But what about a place like maybe a hardware store that has a nut on one door and a bolt on the other?
Right.
Or what about the the Mexican restaurant that has a rooster and a hen. There was a bar in Florida that had a picture of Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
Before and after on each of the 2 doors.
That's funny.
Yeah. Imagine what they got.
This comment here that says Casa Martinis and Dry Ridge.
Yeah.
We love everybody and we welcome everyone. There's just a W. So I'm going to say this again. Casa Martini. I'm going to assume Casa Martinis is the entire title because they have not capitalized the M in Martinis. Okay. But Casa Martinis and Dry Ridge. We love everybody and we welcome everyone. Space W space welcome arms exclamation point. That was the exclamation point is the only by the way punctuation in the comment. So this Casa Martinis that's on here throwing shade at their fellow business owner.
Well, they were definitely throwing shade.
Yeah.
He was aggressive in his taking up the torch on behalf of who knows who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Well, this was posted by an Ariana Callahan. I don't know if you know who that is. No clue. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So we got, how are they not embarrassed? You're not embarrassed. We got that handled.
Yes.
Okay. What's this other comment here? This is by Abby Downing Tutero. Okay. I'm going to read this comment to you, and I need you to try not to immediately start yelling. Okay.
All right.
About the hypocrisy in this comment. Sure. Okay. So they're commenting on your post, and this is what they said. This is reprehensible behavior. I'm so glad to be moving to a place where there's more diversity and inclusion. You don't like something, don't do it. Leave other folks alone and stay in your lane.
Yeah.
So you do something.
Right.
They don't like.
Right.
And then they
beat you down with what they're doing.
They want you to stay in your lane.
Yeah. It is my lane. I'm a donut shop.
They came on your post.
Right.
Saying if you don't like something, stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
And
I was in my lane, wasn't I?
That's my question. I mean, they're coming on your post in your shop. Yeah. If you don't like it,
don't come here.
Don't come there. But don't do it. Leave other folks alone. Stay in your lane.
You're right.
I like that last advice. Leave other folks alone and stay in your lane.
Yeah.
We hear this from a lot of people. Certainly on the left, that say, why are you all so concerned about the transgender things? Why can't you all just leave everybody alone? Why can't you all just, let people live freedom and liberty? I thought you guys are all about it. Why do you care so much about this? Richard, what do you have to say to that?
Yeah. The best response really is silence to that, because again, the hypocrisy of it is unfathomable. You've come for our children now. You've started off by saying, just leave us alone. And then just, don't say anything bad. And then just acknowledge. And then you must accept. And then you must support. And so it just, the continued bombardment of somehow you've got some kind of rights violation in this world, in this day and age, in free America, that somebody else doesn't have is just beyond my
well, it's not that it's not that they don't have this is what's, and I said the same thing about the gay marriage argument, and that's an argument we don't have to get into, but my point being is when they said this is about quote unquote rights, we're being mistreated rights. Look, I also don't have a right at the time, of course. I also don't have the right to marry another man. The difference is I don't want to. And so something doesn't become, if we're all being subjected to the same law, But the difference is I just don't want to break it. It doesn't become like, just because you now want to break it doesn't mean you're now being subjected by it. It's like murder's illegal for everybody. Right. But if you really want to kill your wife, now the government's oppressing your right to murder.
Right.
And that's, I think, a big thing to understand. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's not like we're saying, well, you get this set of laws and you get this set of laws. You have the ability to do this. You don't.
Right.
No, everybody doesn't have a right to do this.
Yeah.
The difference is you just want to do it.
Right. I
think that's key to understand.
It is.
So, moving on to this next one. This next one here.
Sure.
They said this is from Jillian Priscilla Marie Horde.
Okay.
A lot of names there.
She's our best customer.
Is she?
Yeah.
So this one is from Jillian Priscilla Marie Horde.
Okay.
What does she have to share? Well, we don't want to assume anybody's gender now, Richard.
Okay.
But I'm going to guess it's a woman. She said, "This is really sad. Not maintaining a welcoming environment for all customers is not something you should pride yourself in." Now, I would obviously ask this woman a question, but what question do you have for her?
What's unwelcoming?
You put a Long John donut on the restroom door, Richard.
Yeah. I imagine how unwelcoming that is. For who? You know, I am asking men to use a men's room. They are welcome to come in and use the men's room. Everyone is welcome in the facility. And, you know, the one direction that we had considered going and talking about was, okay, so what happens if somebody shows up? So if somebody comes in to do that, they're going to make a point. They're going to come in. They're going to ask to use the restroom. They're going to announce what restroom they're going to use. And one of the ladies on the staff will go ahead of them and make sure that the ladies' room is empty prior to them going in there. And I'll stand outside the door. They can use the restroom and they can leave. But they must buy something. It's for customers' use only. So at least I'll get $1 or more.
There you go. How many people are offended that a person with a penis is not allowed in the women's restroom, compared to how many women feel uncomfortable with a man being in the women's bathroom?
I do not know the percentage, but I would suspect that a superior number of women would be unhappy to have a male in the ladies' room.
How many people are like not going to go to a business because they don't let chicks with dicks in the bathroom, compared to how many are going to go to the business because they keep them out?
Right. I would think that we'd be on the winning side of history in that. I
think so. I don't think there's many.
Children. I have children.
Yeah.
You know, you have a son.
Yeah.
And there is such a time for them to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why there is different ages for different activities.
Yeah.
Unless you want to mutilate your body, I guess. But, you know, for driving and for voting and for military and for consuming adult beverages, purchasing firearms,
mm-hmm.
you know, there's ages for all of those things for a reason. Because look, how many people out there have a tattoo that they wish they really hadn't got?
You're sitting across from one.
Right. So
I have some tattoos I wish I didn't get.
Yeah. So imagine if you had done something.
Prison tats.
Right. Imagine if you had done something at 12 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and meanwhile, your first tat was at what age? Or the tat you were
It was 17 years old. I was under 18. I had found a guy willing to tattoo me in his.
Is 18 the age?
Yeah, you need to be 18. I found a guy willing to tattoo me in a apartment.
Okay.
And I made a really good decision of getting 2 tattoos
Okay.
by this individual.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
In his apartment. And yeah, one of them, both of them, not the finest quality work now that I've gotten other tattoos.
Sure.
He did use a clean needle, though.
Good.
It came out clean packaging. He made a point to show me that, but I was so stupid and unexperienced.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was the thing I should be worried about. I didn't even know, like, hey, is that needle like not been yet? Like, it didn't even cross my mind to be like, these needles come in plastic.
Right.
And so, yeah, and I'm pretty sure he was smoking a cigarette the entire time. He gave me a couple of shots beforehand, which I found out later on you're not supposed to drink before tattoos.
Oh, you're not?
No, when I went in to get my third one, they were like, have you been drinking? And I was like, no. I'm like, are you going to give me drinks? They're like, no, you can't drink before a tattoo. It makes your blood thin.
Oh, it makes your blood thin.
What about so you bleed too much.
Isn't piercings?
I think piercing, same thing.
I think you need alcohol to get piercings.
I mean, depending on who you are.
Right.
But, anyway, so that's so yeah, I've gotten tattoos. I regret.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we're encouraging this. We're encouraging these blockers and these different things for children. They're coming for your children.
Yeah.
And you see that the left steals. The left does not produce. They will steal your children through the schools, through social media, because what you have, they will take. And they will take your children. So the only way to combat that is to have a good, moral, upstanding family, have a family, have lots of children, teach them the way of the Bible, teach them the real law, the true law. Either we need 10 laws or we need 10,000 laws. And that is how you take back the country and take it away from those that are set on evil and set on stealing and being destructive.
This one is from a Josh Mears. Do you know him?
No.
Okay. I did a tiny bit of research after this comment by just clicking on their profiles just to see. Says, after discussing it with my family, we've come to the decision that we will no longer be patronizing your establishment as a result of this post. I hope the joke was worth it. To any trans or non-binary people who may be reading this, please know that I see you. Your identities are valid, and we will get through this together. You are not alone. Heart emoji, trans flag. Now, you don't know this person?
No.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a little secret.
Okay.
They stopped patronizing you back when you stayed open.
Oh, okay.
I went to look on their profile and they've left you a review and it said, I'm changing my prior review of a positive one because they're disregarding state health guidelines.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
never going there again.
So that's why they use we'll get through this together.
Yeah.
They're stealing from Andy.
Yeah. That's probably it. But I do want you to know that this wasn't actually a lost customer. You've already lost this customer. Now, will you be able to find another?
Well, hang on. What he's really saying is he went against his decision last time.
Did he come back?
Probably.
You think he did?
Sure he did.
I mean, you do make a good sandwich.
We do. Make
donuts are pretty good.
Donuts are pretty good. But he could have said that, we left. We have not been back in years.
Yeah, he could have said that.
But he didn't. He said we had a family discussion on not coming back.
What do you think that discussion entailed?
Well, that's all I got. Because that's all it is. I'm kind of like, what is this guy? Friends, or is this what's going on here with this person? Why are they on my page? Did they see it from somebody else reposting it? Did they just kind of come across it? Did they ever come in the store?
He wanted to make sure trans and non-binary people are seen. Nobody else, though.
Right.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
You want to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you just imagine how that played out? Like you said, at home, this I saw this thing today and it's just terrible. Now, maybe that's the guy that brought his dad to the protest.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So you have all these comments about 1700.
Yeah.
And then you turned off commenting.
Yep.
Because you just got tired of getting the notifications, or what was it?
Just like everything that has been said. And, y'all can...
You didn't delete any comments. Let's make that clear.
No, we hid some. We got rid of some profanity and some, and some doxing, but there were some strong accusations. There's one lawyer in town that approached me about doing some libel against a couple of the comments there.
They're making claims like you had cockroaches or something.
Well, and I don't know specifically, but there were some pretty serious accusations. And look, we live in small town America, and if our restaurant or I was anything like some of the comments that were said, we would not be in business.
Sure,
because there was some pretty horrendous accusations against us. Some of ex-employees, supposedly, whether they were, whether they weren't, or family members of it, jumped on there now and again saying how horrible and terrible and this, that, and the next thing.
Isn't your entire staff your family?
Well, just me. I do it all there.
I'm pretty sure you have like 30 kids.
We have like 1,800 children. So we have a lot of family support, but there's one of the...
A lot of legal slave labor going on in there.
Yeah, we've got... No, they're legal. They have their own visas and things. So that, which is, that going back to your earlier point, that visa situation is unfortunate, that we can only be on a visa and we have to renew all the time, and that paperwork situation is real, So yeah, it's something that we have to do.
So you had a protest at your place because of this post.
I did.
Yeah.
It lasted an hour.
Okay.
Consisted
How many people showed?
One guy.
One guy showed?
One guy.
Okay.
And the sign said, "Bigots eat here."
Okay.
Or no, "Bigots go here," and had a silhouette of Trump.
Okay.
Not sure what the deal was there.
What was your business like that day? More or less?
Yeah, some people pulled into the drive-thru and said, "We only came in because of the guy out there." So that was great. But and then he showed up a week later with his dad.
Oh, his dad came with him?
Yeah.
What did his dad's sign say?
Well, he still just had the one sign.
Maybe that was Josh Mears then.
Maybe it was Josh Mears. So, but here you look out and you see this grown man, smiley dude, like he was waving at people, and like he wasn't being a jerk or whatever. He was just doing his thing out there. And then his dad with him, like his dad had to be 75. What's a 75-year-old who grew up in the 50s, right? Born in the 50s, supporting this kind of ideology? But it's a too far gone issue. But why? What are they doing there? But is it they were wrong? They were wrong with the Norman Rockwell family that they grew up in? Like what changed their mind to become this idea of gender dysphoria is okay and normal? And
well, it's team loyalty. I guarantee you his dad's been a Democrat. He will continue to vote Democrat. And so I think part of what it is if he had politically involved children that he raised as these Democrats, that party loyalty, those children come along, and what are you going to say? No, I don't agree with this that has now become 50% of the Democrat platform?
No.
I don't think so.
No. It's because they've got away from the law of God, right? And now it's a law of whoever's the loudest, whatever is popular, whatever is whatever percentage of the population believes. And
well, I don't even think we know it's not a majority. I mean, I've seen some polling data recently that says 75% of Democrats don't believe children should be allowed at drag shows.
Of course not. Like, because we're born with a conscience, and
Right.
we're born knowing, and if we're old enough to vote, we know what it's like to be a child, and we know those kinds of decisions that you can be impacted by.
Sure.
The music that we listen to, do we necessarily want our children listening to it, or to worse, or to the different things? I couldn't imagine going to school now, sitting on a school bus, sitting beside my buddy with a phone in his hand, and the whole world is on the school bus with you. You can go anywhere you want in that. That is a dangerous society that we've created.
It is. Yeah, no, it is dangerous. I keep my son off social media. He doesn't have social media accounts or anything like that.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation, sometimes we give him a phone if we need to be able to like talk to him, text with him. But as a parent, try texting an 11-year-old and suddenly you realize how important like spelling and punctuation of every single thing is. Because you're like, I don't think he'll get it if I get this wrong or mistype or misspell. So you've got this. So he goes out there, he protests. And then next week or next day.
Yeah, next week.
A week or so later, he comes back with his dad. Is it an hour then too?
Yep.
1 hour?
Yep.
So 2 hours of protesting over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of commitment to the protest.
No. Sure isn't. But, and I think one of the a customer or two might have talked to him, the first time we saw him there. I was on my way to a wedding, didn't stop in and see him or anything, but I don't think any of the staff had any interaction with the guy.
Yeah.
He kind of did his thing and off he went. So, but it's just like those sign throwers, kind of.
The follow through. Attention. It does. I mean, I remember I was so brewed, right?
Yeah.
And I had done a video where I was calling out the fact that strip clubs could be open.
Destiny. You were talking about getting a dance with Destiny.
You can go in there and get a dance with Destiny, but I can't serve a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And I did that video. And I either was there or some other comment somewhere, there was this stripper.
Okay.
That was saying that, well, all the girls were behind him and thought he was right, but then he started calling out Deja Vu for being open and we're going to come protest.
Right.
And I'm like, so let me get this straight. You are threatening that a group of strippers is going to come and protest in front of my business.
Right.
It's like, can you let me know which day so I can make sure I have extra staff on hand for the influx of business I'm going to receive?
Right. Yeah. Call them in for me. So what would they? So what possible thing could they protest?
They're protesting. Yeah, I guess they would be protesting that I am. I don't know. I don't know exactly. They're just like, we're going to come protest you because you hate. I guess they would picket with lines saying like, "Don't eat here. This business owner doesn't like strippers."
Okay.
Which
it's okay. That's. I think that's allowed.
I think that's okay.
You're allowed to not like.
It's going to be like, well, I can't eat from a man that doesn't like sexual debauchery. What am I going to do?
What are you going to
do? How can I drink this cup of coffee when I know the man who made it doesn't enjoy seeing women other than his wife naked?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Strange.
Yeah, very strange.
But, well, Richard, I wish you the best of luck in your business.
Thank you.
I'll have to have you back on again next time you decide to stir up some controversy. Where can people find you at?
Find me at Beans, exit 159 off of I-75 in Dry Ridge, Kentucky. Yep.
You've got a drive-through?
We have a drive-through.
Sandwiches?
Online ordering, dine-in, take-out.
Tacos? Taco. One kind of taco.
We have, yes.
But you get 3 of them?
Two.
Two in an order.
2 in an order. Some chips and stuff. Homemade breads.
Homemade breads.
Bakery goods, cheesecake. Yeah.
Are you going to bring
cookies,
back
you name it,
the roast beef sandwich?
Would love to bring back the roast beef sandwich. However, the parts of it are not available anymore. There was a Blue Jack cheese that we purchased. It was a It was a sliced cheese, and it was blue cheese and Monterey Jack in a slice.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible.
Yeah, this is my favorite sandwich you had.
Yeah, on our ancient grain bread, with the rare roast beef. But that cheese is no longer available.
So you can't find another cheese?
I could find another cheese.
You drive to Chicago like twice a year for your pickles.
On Monday. Going on Monday.
You're going on Monday.
Going on Monday.
That's right, everybody. He drives to Chicago twice a year to buy large shipments of pickles.
Yep, 72 5-gallon buckets. It's a fermented pickle. It's a Canadian pickle. It's the best pickle in America. The fact that I do go to Chicago to pick those up just shows my commitment to having something different and the best quality product that I can find on the shelf, or not just on the shelf, because we do sell small jars of it, but on your plate. And you know what? I'm sure many people do like it. I have a quick pickle story.
Yeah, sure. No, continue. Yeah.
So there's this group of
Richard. I always like it when you tell me about your pickle.
Sure. So I've got this group of 4 people that came to the Ark Encounter.
Okay.
And so they're in my dining room, and I do the thing of going through the dining room, saying hello to different people, and I come across this table of 4, and so they I think they were just there for ice cream, so they didn't actually try the pickle. So they asked me, and they said, do you know any grocery stores around here? And I said, yeah, there's Walmart. And they said, anything else? Where's Whole Foods? And I said, well, there's Whole Foods in Cincinnati. And I said, what are you after? And they said, well, I have a gut health issue, and I have to drink pickle juice. And it's this really obscure or hard to get pickle. I said, oh, what's the name of it? And she said, Bubby's. And I go, you're not going to believe this, but that's the product that we carry, and I'll go get you a cup of it. And I went in the back in the 5-gallon bucket, got her a cup of pickle juice, took it out there. She drank it. Unbelievable. Sent me a card, how, God had orchestrated the whole thing. And it was just like, see, I go to Chicago.
So your pickle juice is a medicine.
I guess it's fermented, and I guess fermented products are good for gut health. And this lady was almost prescribed it. So, you know what? I go to Chicago so that lady can have good gut health. And so, it's
real
proud
commitment to customers.
It is.
But why can't you find a cheese for that roast beef sandwich? It is the main picture on the door of your restaurant.
No, it's not on the door. It's on the side, and we just haven't changed that yet. But, well, actually, because Boar's Head were the people that were carrying that, and they canceled it. So they don't have it anymore. I'd love to be able to find it again.
You got donuts?
If I ever do, I will. Maybe we'll run it for a special.
Yeah. Can you call it the Cooperrider?
Yeah, I'll call it the Cooperrider.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You do donuts too?
Yeah.
Or do you make them fresh every morning, every other day, every 3 days? What do you do there?
No, we make them every night.
Every night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every night. And we're open Monday to Saturday, closed on Sundays. So, yeah.
And you close at too early?
No, we close at 8 p.m.
It's too early. Well, every time I'm crossing through.
Oh, yeah, you sent me that picture.
and I'm crossing through. You're not open.
No.
It's too.
No. You should be home by then.
I can't be. I work.
Yeah. But there's we open at 7 a.m. in the dine-in, 6 a.m. in the drive-thru, and close at 8. So, yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, Richard, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
And you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
And you all have a great rest of your day as well. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time.